Bus has crashed into the stairwell of an underground pedestrian crossing, with police just confirming at least 5 dead. Our correspondent Igor Zhdanov has just literally got there now. Igor, we've got on our site, rt.com, just alerting our viewers as well, some latest video in of street footage from high up of this bus. Taking a look at it now, it seems to start from a standing position, veer off by itself and bizarrely go down this underpass. An absolutely bizarre accident. What do we know so far? What's the scene around you there?
Well, exactly, Kevin. You can't really tell what's happened here because the video that you've just shown, it clearly shows some very weird picture. The bus is at a full stop, then it just goes into drive, and instead of driving left, it goes right, hitting the pedestrian crossing, the subway crossing, which is just behind me, just behind that kiosk over there. And we can see from here, we can see that the bus is still there. Hence so many tow trucks, hence so many vehicles here, because the bus is still there. Now, obviously, a lot of ambulances here too, because it has been confirmed 5 people are dead, some more than 10 have been injured. So there are multiple versions of what's happened. None of them are confirmed yet. Of course, it could be the bad weather conditions. You can see what it is like here. I mean, the brakes could have stopped working on that bus. That's why it probably started moving, maybe before the driver intended to. Also, we know that the driver has been arrested, so we'll get more information about the causes of this horrific tragedy after the policemen are done working with the driver. The
police have been quick to point out that they don't believe at this point any terrorism has been involved here. Are you hearing that as well?
True. Yes, it is true. The police are saying that it is not a terrorist attack. They have been very blatant about this. Again, multiple versions. It could be, I mean, they're saying reportedly the driver was not drunk, because in Moscow, if you're a bus driver, you are tested. You are tested before sitting in the driver's seat before every shift of yours. So reports are saying that the driver was all right, he was good to drive. Other reports are saying that he's been working in this company for 30 years and that his son is also a bus driver in Moscow. So really, we'll bring you more as we get it. But we also know that there have been medical helicopters here flying around and taking people to hospital by air. And so we'll bring you more as we get it from the scene.
A really busy time of day there as well, of course. People out doing maybe a last bit of shopping before the new year, etc. The big celebrations here. That's a busy station,
the rush hour has just started. Yeah, it is a busy station. It's just it's one of Moscow's main stations, I should say. Also, we know that it is the beginning of the rush hour. It's not that the streets are too packed. I mean, in the video that you're showing right now, you can clearly see there are no traffic jams. But that's usually the time when people start going home from work. So if the tragedy was to happen later in the day, probably there would have been more victims.
Yeah, well, a lot of cameras were on that. There's some really graphic pictures we were just showing there then that we've blurred out. At least the security guys have got a lot to go on there, I suppose, to try and make out a bizarre and tragic accident here today. We'll let you get across more of what may have gone on. Just to clarify, sources, we don't know if it's exactly the police yet, but most sources saying they don't believe there's a connection to terrorism here. We want to get that clarified from the police. Of course, we'll let you, Igor, get back to that as we just watch, once again, that bizarre scene of that bus accelerating, going way off-road, across a big pavement and going down an underpass into a metro station. We think at least 5 killed today. Bizarre and tragic scene.